Hi friends, my name is Mike and welcome to this 50-minute Power Vinyasa style class. I would recommend this class for strong beginners and intermediate level students. And if you ever need to take a break, always feel free to hit pause, take a child's pose, and start again whenever you feel rejuvenated. Also feel free to skip vinyasas whenever you feel like your arms are getting tired throughout this class. So enjoy and I'll see you on the mat. All right, yogis, let's start in child's pose. So come onto your knees. Bring your knees as wide as feels comfortable for you. And then drop your hips back to your heels. And we'll start here with a couple mindful grounding breaths in and out through the nose. And you should be able to hear the sound of your breath, the ujjayi breath. So you're creating a slight constriction in the back of your throat so that you can hear the breath as it comes in and goes out. And let's take one more round of breath. Good, and then slide your hands backwards towards your body, and we'll come into a tabletop position. So stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. We'll take some cat-cows here. So inhale, drop the belly down towards your mat. Gaze upwards towards the sky. Exhale, empty your lungs. Drop your head down towards your thumbs, around the spine. Fill up your lungs. Look up to the sky. Open the throat. Exhale, empty your lungs. Drop the head. Press the earth away from you. Let's take two more of these. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, empty, round the spine. And last time, inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Good, and then coming back to a neutral spine. From here, flip your fingertips to face backwards towards your knees. Drop your hips backwards towards your heels, just enough so that you feel a nice stretch through your wrists and your forearms. It might feel nice to shift your weight from your right hand over to your left hand. Take one more breath here. Good, and then we'll bring the hands back to face the top of the mat. Slide your hands forward, and we'll come into our first downward facing dog. Lifting the hips. Taking a little movement here as you pedal into your feet, or maybe rock your hips from left to right. Stretching out the sides of your body, your obliques. Take about one more breath and then come into some stillness in this first down dog. We'll take 3 breaths here, working to ground down through your heels, lift through your hips, and press through your fingertips. One more breath. Gaze to the top of your mat. Tiptoe your feet all the way to your hands. So feet are going to be hips width distance at the top of the mat. And we'll come into ragdoll pose. So bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. Drop your head down. Maybe rock a little bit from left to right. Take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. Good, and then release your elbows. Bring your hands down to the ground. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down. From here, plant your right hand right in between your feet. Take a slight bend into your right knee, straighten your left knee. Inhale, reach your left arm upwards towards the sky, coming into a little twist. You can gaze upwards towards your top fingertips here. Twisting open through your top shoulder for 3, 2, and 1. Lower the left hand down. Plant the left hand in between your feet. Take a slight bend into your left knee. Straighten your right knee. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Gaze up to your top hand. Peeling open through that top shoulder for 3, 2, and 1. Lower the top hand back down. Inhale, we'll come into our first halfway lift. So lengthen your spine, reach through the crown of your head. And exhale, fold forward. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And last time, inhale, lengthen the spine. Pull the pit of your belly inwards towards the spine. Exhale, empty the lungs, drop the head. Good. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, mountain pose, gaze up as you reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. All right, and then relax your hands down towards your hips, and we'll take some sun salutations here. So starting with an inhale to reach the arms up, gazing up towards your thumbs. And as you exhale, we'll fold all the way forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into a high plank position. We'll hold here for 5 breaths. So working to activate your core, pressing actively through your arms, and breathing in and out through the nose for 3 more breaths. Keep working to lift through the backs of your knees. And last breath here. Good. And then lower your knees down to the mat. Slowly bend into your elbows to bring your chest down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, come into a cobra pose. So just lifting your chest. Work to lengthen through the back of your neck. Keep breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower the chest back down. Good, and with your next inhale, we'll come into our first upward facing dog of our practice. So this time, lifting the knees as you lift the chest. Maybe even drop your head back. Feel a nice opening through your throat here. Take a deep inhale. And with your exhale, roll over your toes, and we'll move into downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. And as it moves out, 1 more breath. Good. Gaze to the top of your mat, step or jump your feet forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, root to rise, reach up through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, again, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Relax the back of your neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into your high plank position. And we'll lower down into a low plank, option to bring the knees down or keep the knees lifted. Inhale, upward facing dog, lifting the knees, lifting the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog, sending the hips back. Breathing here for 3 breaths. to bring sound to your breath so that you can hear the breath coming in and going out. And again, gaze between your hands, step or lightly float the feet forward. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold down towards your toes. Inhale, rise up to stand, reach up through the palms. Exhale, hands to heart center. And again, inhale, reach the arms up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or option to jump back into your high plank. From the high plank, we'll lower down into our low plank. Option to bring the knees down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Drop the head back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here for 2 breaths. One more breath. And we'll look forward and travel the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll do one more sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Fill up the lungs, lengthen the spine. Plant the palms, empty the lungs, step or jump back, high to low plank. Inhale, straighten the arms, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll pause here. And then again, look forward, step or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Drop the hips down to your heels, reach the arms up, come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So really lowering the hips nice and low. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Keep lifting through your chest, lengthening through the sides of your body as you reach upwards with your fingertips for 3 more breaths. And last breath here. And with your exhale, straighten the knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Empty the lungs, downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands, plant your back foot flat, reach the arms up, coming into warrior number 1. So a generous bend into your right knee so that the right knee stacks directly over your ankle. Not too far forwards, not too far back. And then working to pull the right hip back as you press the left hip forward for 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. And last breath in. And with your exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back into high plank, bend the elbows into low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, step the left foot forward, plant the back foot flat. Reach the arms up, coming into warrior 1 here. So checking in with the front knee. And then we're pulling the left hip back and pressing the right hip forwards. 3 more breaths. Keep pressing through your back heel. Last breath here. And with your exhale, we'll plant the palms, step the left foot back into high plank, bend the elbows into our low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. Pausing here for 3 breaths. One more breath. Great job. Gaze forward, step or jump forward. Inhale right into our halfway lift. And exhale into our forward fold. Drop the hips, chair pose, reach the arms up. 2 breaths here. Lower the hips a little lower for our last breath. And exhale, empty the lungs, straighten the knees. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the right foot between the hands, plant the back foot. Reach the arms up, warrior number 1. 2 breaths here. Reaching through the fingertips. Last breath. And exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, high to low. Inhale, upward facing dog, gaze upwards. Exhale, downward facing dog, gaze between your legs. Step the left foot forward, plant the back foot. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1, reach the arms up. 2 breaths. 1 more breath. And exhale, plant the palms, step the left foot back, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here for 1 breath. And right away, look forward, step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to do 1 breath per movement here. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen through the head. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, step the right foot forward. Inhale, warrior 1. 1 breath to reach the arms up. And exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, step the left foot forward. Inhale, warrior 1, reach up. Exhale, plant the palms, left foot steps back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here. So you can stay in downward facing dog, or if you'd prefer to take child's pose, no problem. Feel free to take a rest. Be here in this resting pose for about 3 breaths. You should feel your heartbeat a little faster. Your breath might be a little bit choppier, and that's okay. Just work to bring it back to its natural rhythm. So focus on taking deep, long exhales to calm the breath down. Let's take 1 more breath. Great job. Let's keep it up. So if you're in child's pose, go ahead and meet us back in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. And with an inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. And we'll rise up into a high lunge, a crescent lunge. So really actively lifting through your back leg, pressing through your back toes, lengthening through the sides of your body as you reach the arms up. Good. And from here, bring your hands to heart center. Press the palms together. Inhale, take a deep breath. Exhale, twist to your right side. Hook your left elbow across your front knee, coming into a prayer twist. And then gently pressing the palms together to twist open through your top shoulder. And you can stay in the prayer twist. If you'd like to split your arms, feel free. Keep peeling open for 3. Breathing for 2. And 1. Slowly come back into our crescent lunge, reaching the arms up. And then plant your back foot, open the arms, coming into warrior number 2. So bending into your right knee. I know that right leg is a little tired here. I know mine is. But keep bending into your front knee, reaching through the fingertips. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. We're going to come into extended side angle pose. So option 1, bring your right forearm on top of your front thigh, and then reach your left arm overhead. Option 2, bring your right hand or your right fingertips downwards to the ground. If you have a block handy, feel free to use the block here. So we're reaching through those lifted fingertips, spiraling open through the left side of your body. It's like you're peeling your chest open towards the sky. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Option to stay here, or if you'd like to play with a bind, you can thread your left hand behind your back, and then your right hand reaches underneath your inner thigh of your front leg, maybe clasp fingertips behind your back. So wherever you go is perfectly fine. Never feel pressured to take a pose or any variation. Go for 1 more breath wherever you are. Good. If you have the bind, release it. Plant the palms, and we'll step the right foot back into our high plank position, and then we'll move into our chaturanga, bending the elbows. Big breath in, upward facing dog, lifting the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Reach the arms up, coming into high lunge, also known as crescent lunge. Lifting through the chest. Work to create as much space as you can between your pelvis and your rib cage. Good, and then bring the hands to heart center. Press the palms together. Inhale, fill up the lungs with air. Exhale, twist to your left. Hook the right elbow across your front knee. Continue to ground down through all 4 corners of your front foot as you gently press your hands into each other, twisting open, maybe splitting the arms or just staying where you are. For 3, 2, and 1. Strong front leg. Slowly come back into high lunge, reaching the arms up. Good, and then plant your back foot, open the arms, warrior number 2. Grounding down through your back heel, softening through the shoulders, softening through the wrists. 1 more breath here. And then transitioning into extended side angle. So forearm to the thigh or fingertips or palm down to the ground. And top arm reaches overhead here. Maybe gaze upwards towards your top fingertips. Spiraling open through that right side of the body. So 3 more breaths. Stay as you are, or option to play with that bind. So the right hand will wrap around the back, left hand threads underneath the inner thigh of the left leg, maybe clasp fingertips. 1 more breath, you got this. And with the exhale, release whatever you have, plant the palms down, step the front foot back, high plank. And then bending into the elbows into our low plank. And inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And pausing here. And if you ever need to take a rest, totally fine. Pause the video, take child's pose. It's not cheating, I promise. Gaze between the hands, step or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to stand, reach up through your fingers. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take tree pose on the right side. So you can bring your right heel to your left ankle or to the left inner thigh. Ground down through the left foot. So just focus on finding that balance through the left foot. And then bring the hands to heart center once you feel steady. We'll be here for 5 breaths. You can keep the hands at heart center. Or if you'd like to reach the arms up, feel free. And if you feel steady, we'll work with a progression today of reaching the hands towards the right side of your mat. So you're coming into this little side bend position. And as you do so, work to press your hips towards the left side. Good. And 2 more breaths wherever you are. And you might fall out, and that's perfectly okay. Good. And then slowly, if you're in that side bend, coming back to center. And then we'll all lower down. And we'll move right into the left side. Left foot lifts up. And again, just starting by feeling your right foot. Feeling it's like a tree anchoring down. Imagine as if you have roots through that right foot supporting you here. Then hands come to heart center. 5 breaths. So again, hands can stay at heart center or they can reach up. And then maybe if you feel steady, coming into that side bend, so the palms will reach towards the left side of your mat. And the hips are going to press to the right side. 3 more breaths. Good. Last breath. And slowly coming back to center if you're in the side bend. And then lowering down. Nice job. Lift your right knee upwards towards the sky. Wrap your right leg over your left leg. And then sweep your right arm underneath your left arm, coming into eagle pose, Garudasana. Work to squeeze your inner thighs together. And then bend a little bit more into your left knee to lower the hips a little lower. That's it. And then lift your elbows a little higher. Breathing here for 3, for 2, and 1. Stay in the pose. Slowly lower the elbows downwards towards your knees to come into sleeping eagle. So maybe give the knees a little touch with your right elbow, and then coming right back up. And then at your own pace, unwrapping the arms, unwrapping the legs, and lowering down. And don't worry if you didn't touch the knees. Wherever you went is perfectly fine. And we'll do the left side. So lift the left knee up, wrap the left leg over the right leg, sweep the left arm underneath the right arm. And then squeezing your legs together like a rope. And then dropping the hips low and elevating the elbows. Some nice deep breaths here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly we'll move into sleeping eagle, lowering the elbows as much as works for you today. Eventually the elbows will give the knees a little tap. And then strong through your right leg as you slowly make your way back up. And then unraveling and lowering down. Great work. Bring your big toes together, top of your mat. Inhale, mountain pose, big breath in as you reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back into our chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels off of the ground, so shift your weight onto your tippy toes. And then exhale, wave forward, come into a high plank position. Nice, and then lower your knees down to the ground. And we'll come to a seated position in the middle of the mat. And we'll move right into a high boat pose. So we'll lift the feet off of the ground. Option 1, you can keep your hands on the backs of your knees and you can bend the knees to support yourself. Option 2, you can straighten the legs, point through the toes. Option 3, reach your arms forwards, coming into the full expression. And we'll hold here for 3, working to lift the lower back for 2, and 1. Slowly come into a low boat. So the heels are going to hover an inch above the ground. The head hovers above the mat for 3. Keep breathing here. 2, and 1. With an inhale, come back up into your high boat, finding the balance. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Low boat for 3. Keep pressing your lower back down here. 2, and 1. Inhale, back up, high boat. Last time, breathing for 3, 2. Keep lifting the heels up. And 1. Slowly lower back into your low boat. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the heels down, lower the back of the head down. Nice job. We'll come right into our back bend of the day. So your choice, you can come into bridge or wheel pose. So bringing the heels right behind your sit bones and then pressing down through the feet to lift the hips up. And if you come into bridge, you can interlace your fingertips behind your back, straighten the arms out, add in a nice shoulder stretch. Or if you come into wheel, planting the palms next to your ears and lifting all the way up. We'll be in this back bend for about 5 breaths. Wherever you go, focus on using your legs as much as you can. So really grounding down through your heels and using your hips. Imagine as if you're squeezing your outer hips inwards towards your legs. Take 2 more breaths. And then we'll slowly lower onto the back, 1 vertebrae at a time. We'll come into our Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together and then dropping the knees open towards the sides of your mat. Bring your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly. Notice if you're still activating your ujjayi breath here. And if not, go ahead and back to your breathing again. Feel your belly expand and contract with each cycle of breath. Feel your heart rate start to slow down with your left hand as you focus on the breath again. Okay, and then we'll come into happy baby pose. You can stay in stillness or you can rock from side to side. Allowing the thoughts to start to slow down as we move into our more passive, meditative poses. But try and stay focused on the breath, stay focused on the movements. And then from here, hug your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And we'll rock 3 times, going up and down the length of the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. It should feel like a nice massaging sensation from your neck all the way down to your sacrum. And then once you get to the top on the 3rd time, cross the ankles, plant the palms, and we'll step back. You can step straight back into downward facing dog or step back into a high plank and then go through a vinyasa back into downward facing dog. And from down dog, inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, come into half pigeon. So swing your right knee forwards, lower your back knee down. Make sure that the hips are square so that your pelvis is in line with the front of your mat. And then you can stay on your fingertips if you'd like to, or option to fold forward into sleeping pigeon, coming onto the forearms, or maybe even crawling the fingertips out in front of you and bringing the forehead down to the ground. And taking about 5 deep breaths here, softening into that right hip. Feel your abdomen pressing into your right shin with each inhale and softening with each exhale. Last 2 breaths. And if you crawl the fingertips forward, start to bring them back towards your mat. And we'll lift the chest back up. And then swing the front foot back into downward facing dog. Take a moment if you'd like to counter stretch. It might feel really nice if you lift your right heel towards your right glute and then make some circles with that right knee. Bringing some blood flow back into the right hip. Maybe reverse the direction of the circles. And then bring the right foot back down. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, half pigeon pose. So just finding that position of the hips, maybe even gazing backwards towards your back foot to make sure that you're on the top of the back foot. So we don't want the back foot to be shifted more towards the big toe or more towards the little toe. We want it to be in a neutral position. And then moving into whatever expression of the pose you'd like to. For 5 breaths. Imagine as if you're breathing into your left hip. Nice long, deep breaths. 2 more breaths. And then planting the palms on your mat to lift the chest back up. And then stepping the front foot back into down dog. So we'll bend that left knee, bringing the left heel towards the glute, and then make some circles with the left knee and the left hip. And then just switching the direction of those circles. And then finding downward facing dog again. Inhale, lift the heels, come onto your tippy toes. Exhale, wave into high plank pose. Lower the knees down to the ground. And we'll come to a seated position with the legs in front of you. Big toes are together. Press the backs of your knees down into the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up, gaze up to your fingertips. And exhale, forward fold. So reach the fingers towards your toes. You can grab your ankles with the hands. Maybe grab the sides of your feet. Or maybe grab your big toes if that's accessible. And then dropping the head down, relaxing through the back of your neck. In Paschimottanasana. Be here for 3 breaths. Nice hamstring stretch, nice lower back stretch. One more breath. And then lifting the chest back up, releasing whatever you have with your hands. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs, nice and slowly. Once the back of your head touches down, we'll move into a shoulder stand. So we're going to lift the legs up towards the sky. Bring the hands to your lower back. Try and get the legs as straight as you can upwards towards the sky. Oftentimes the feet are too far backwards. So if that's the case, maybe see if you can bring them a little bit more forwards here. And breathing here. 5 deep breaths. If you look towards your belly button, you should be able to see the belly expanding and contracting with each breath. Let's go for 2 more breaths. And last, inhale. And with your exhale, we'll move into plow pose. So drop your feet behind your head, bringing the toes in the direction of the ground. The toes might not touch, and that's perfectly fine. Eventually, they'll touch down to the ground. When they do touch, option to interlace your fingertips behind your back and straighten your arms out. If they're not touching quite yet, just keep your hands on your lower back to support yourself. Work to lift your hips upwards towards the sky. And keep your knees as straight as you can. Take 1 more breath here. With your exhale, we'll come into Karna Pidasana, ear pressure pose. So you'll bend the knees as close as you can towards your ears, and then squeeze the knees in the direction of your ears. And the breath is probably going to be a little bit choppy in this pose, so be extra mindful of keeping the breath flowing. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. And then if you have a bind with your fingertips, release the bind. We'll all plant the palms on the mat and then slowly roll the spine out onto the back, one vertebrae at a time. And it's okay if your spine feels like an 80-year-old right now. That's perfectly normal, par for the course. So we'll take a supine twist to bring some blood flow back into the spine. So bend the right knee into the chest, and then with your left hand, guide your right knee over to the left side of your body. Extend your right arm open to the right side of your mat, and then gaze over your right shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. One more. And twisting our way back to center. And just switching out legs here. So the left knee is going to hug into the chest. Use your right hand to drop your left knee over to the right side. And then open your left arm to the left side. Gaze over the left shoulder. One more breath. And then twisting back to center. Keep the left knee hugging into the chest. Bend your right knee to meet the left knee. And then wrap your arms around your shin bones. Some of you might be able to grab opposite elbows with your hands, but you don't have to do that. No problem if that's not accessible. Just wherever you are, wrap the arms around the shins. And then lift your forehead upwards toward into this little circular shape. So you're lifting your forehead up to the knees, squeezing together, breathing deeply for 3, for 2. Lift the forehead a little bit more if you can. Good, and exhale. Release your legs, open your arms, coming into Savasana pose. Softening through your legs, softening through your arms, allowing the eyelids to close. And allow your breath to find its natural rhythm again. So you don't have to focus on the breath anymore. You can just let it go. Let your thoughts go. And just become content in this moment. Just laying here in Savasana. Be here for about 2 minutes or so. Start to wiggle your fingertips, wiggle your toes, maybe make some circles with your wrists and your ankles. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in. This time reach your arms overhead into a full body stretch. Spreading your fingers, pointing through your toes, stretching through the sides of the body. And then bend the knees into the chest and rock onto your right side. Rest your right ear on top of your right bicep in our fetal position. Enjoying this last moment of solitude and stillness. And then making your way up to a seated position at the top of your mat. You can keep your eyes closed. Find a nice straight spine. Soften the shoulders. Create as much space between your ears and your shoulders as you can. Relax the muscles in your face. Notice if you have any tension in your eyelids or your cheekbones or maybe the jaw. And then bring the hands to heart center. Press the palms into each other. Feel the warmth between your hands. Take a deep, filling breath through the nose. And a slow, emptying breath out the mouth. Letting go here. And then opening the eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope that you're feeling good. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you left me a thumbs up or maybe a comment in the comment section below. So for all you Baptiste fans out there, if you want more Baptiste videos, definitely let me know and I will be sure to make more in the next couple of weeks. So thanks again for joining me and namaste.